It is a cold winter evening in the heart of Silicon Valley. The world is watching, waiting for a man whose ideas have changed a life and the way we think. But what it does not know is that there's more to Elon Musk than the eccentric billionaire we read about in headlines. There's a side to him that has remained well hidden. A side that just might change everything. Today, for the first time, Elon Musk breaks his silence on why he wants to plunge into the stormy waters of politics.
Those are two of the aspects of the woke mind virus that I think are very dangerous. Another way to, almost synonymous would be cancel culture.
But that is not all. He speaks out on something that's been haunting him, something many are too afraid to discuss: his thoughts on woke culture. You see, Elon Musk has always been a man living on the edge. He built Tesla from scratch, beat all the odds, and brought electric cars into the mainstream. He took SpaceX to the sky and marked Mars as the next big destination. But behind each success, there's a story which nobody tells you. And after every bold move, one question remains: why does Elon Musk do what he does? What drives him to push boundaries and challenge the world? And what does he think about the world we're all living in today? If one has to understand why Elon Musk is now contemplating entry into the political fray, he has to understand the man first. Elon is just not that kind of fellow to do things light or easy. He does not get up in the morning and then decides to change everything overnight. No, he has a reason behind everything he does. And the reason is usually greater than his own self. Lately, however, there had been something that weighed heavily upon his mind. The world had changed in ways he never expected. The world he knew, the one in which innovation and freedom of thought had been the guiding principles, was being replaced by something quite different. Something that felt far more like shadow than light. It's something that has left him asking questions nobody else is brave enough to ask. In an exclusive interview, Elon opens up about this unsettling shift. There is a tinge of urgency in his voice, as if time is running out. The world we're living in is changing, he says, and not in the way we think. It's slipping away little by little under our noses. We're losing something vital. And what do we exactly lose? Well, Elon's answer is just as simple as it's profound: freedom of thought. When you can't say something, you lose the ability to think that thing, he says. We're becoming more afraid to ask questions, more afraid to challenge what we're told. But that is not even the worst part, as claimed by Elon. The worst is the silence that overran free speech. He says, if you can't speak your mind, then you can't think freely. And that, he says, is what really terrifies him. Elon has always been a man who believes in the power of ideas. He always thought that anything can be resolved as long as people were able to think freely. But this new culture really has him deeply worried. Ideas being judged not on their merit, but on their feelings. It's a culture where debate has been replaced by dogma, and questioning the norm is regarded as dangerous. For someone like Elon, who has built his career by challenging the status quo, that's a daunting reality. It's not just occurring in one corner of the world, says Elon. It's everywhere. It's in the media, it's in universities, it's in the workplace. People are terrified to say anything for fear of being labeled, ostracized, or worse. And as the fear spreads, so does the power of a single narrative, silencing everything else. Elon has always been a dreamer, an individual who believes in what imagination and innovation can bring about. Still, he is afraid that this new culture is building walls around both. When people stop speaking up, he says, we stop creating. And when we stop creating, we stop moving forward. But here is the kicker. Elon Musk, a man who changed the world with his innovations, now wants to do so again. However, this time, it shall not be with rockets or electric cars. It shall be through politics. He would enter politics not because he trusts in the system, but because he believes that system has lost its track. It's not a question of power for the sake of power, nor personal gain. No, Elon's reasoning is far more tragic. He feels that the world is at risk of losing something incredibly precious, the freedom to think independently. He will risk everything to get that freedom back. At heart, he believes politics should be an exercise in problem solving, not hand-to-hand combat or palace politics. The political system is broken, he said. It's not about serving the people any longer, it's about serving interests. The whole system is rigged and it's getting worse. He talks of a world wherein politicians no longer care for the well-being of their people, but for retaining power, keeping the narrative going, and maintaining the status quo. Elon is visibly frustrated talking about a system that has failed the very people it was supposed to serve. But even more tragic is the realization that this is something that will not be easily put right. He knows that entering politics isn't going to be an easy road. He knows the resistance, criticism, and hostility he is going to confront in every direction. He knows that he will be hated by those people that should be listening. For him, though, it is a small price to pay. Elon is not one to shy away from challenges. As a matter of fact, he relishes the prospect of adversity. He is the man who sent a car into orbit and turned electric cars into mainstream reality. He is the man who sent humans to the moon and beyond. But this challenge, the challenge of bringing real change to a broken system, is different. It's more personal, and it's more urgent. His political plunge is not about the quest for power, but about preserving the way of thinking. That is saving the future, saving the freedom of thought, and all those things that make us human. He now talks about the importance of freedom of speech, challenging the authorities, and saving the future of humanity. Equally, he knows the world is not ready for the change he seeks. He knows stepping into politics means an avalanche of criticism, doubt, and even hate. He knows the system will fight back. He will be seen as a threat. But that to him is a small price to pay for saving the future. But the question still remains. Will Elon Musk be able to make that much-needed change? Will his voice rise above the storm that politics has become in these modern times, or will it get drowned out in the cacophony of a world that has stopped listening? The answers are not yet known, and long is the road ahead. But one thing is certain, Elon Musk is certainly not a man to be overlooked. In the quiet of his mind, while he stands at the threshold of the next phase of his life, he realizes this is not about politics. This is about the future of humanity. For that, he will lose everything. He's willing to sacrifice his reputation, his wealth, his time, everything he's built, if it means protecting something greater. Because in the end, it's not about him. It's about all of us. The road ahead is unsure, and the challenges many. But Elon Musk has always been a man who thrives in the unknown. He's not afraid of the dark because he knows that it's only in the dark that we can find the light. And so, with that, the story continues. Will the world listen? Will we hear the call to think freely? Only time will tell. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the heart and mind of Elon Musk. We hope this story has given you something to think about, something to feel deeply. Because in the end, the most important thing is not what we're told to believe, but what we choose to believe for ourselves. Until next time, keep questioning, keep thinking, and remember, the future is never written.